Reader's note. Keep in mind this story has multiple parts and is still in progress. I am still writing more, and I hope that you will stay in tune when the next parts come out. Thank you. Espio's point of view. I sat in my room meditating as usual. People think that meditation is a method of calming you down and bringing you back to a happy state. They think that all we think about is calmness. Sadly, that is false. At least for me, that is. My alone time was always full of depression and sorrow. I never really knew why. Not only that, but I never knew why I didn't know why. My thoughts wandered to dark and violent places. I wonder if I were to die, would anyone even notice? Would anyone even care? Never have I felt love or feelings for anyone, not one person. Vector and Charmy hate me because of my natural, serious instinct. Never do they know what my thoughts are really like. Nobody will ever understand. Not Sonic, not Amy, not Tails, not Knuckles, not Shadow. Not even the person who truly understood me was Mighty, but now he's gone. Silver's point of view. Was it normal to worry, to feel anxiety and loneliness? Is this what depression feels like? After Blaze left, my life was empty. My whole world came crashing down. I had no real friends, no real family, no real love. Silver, you okay, buddy? My thoughts were interrupted by a familiar voice ringing in my ears. I glanced over to see Sonic's concerned, bright green eyes. He must have been really worried. Mostly he was the fun, cool, and happy type. It was strange seeing him worried like that. I nodded, faking how I really felt. Not even he would understand my feelings. Espio's point of view. I stopped to the sound of my name being yelled from the other room. I got up and peeked out of the crack in my door. What? There stood Victor, rubbing the... Not Victor. I was thinking of Yuri on Ice. I am so sorry. There stood Vector, rubbing the back of his head and with a startled expression. Why are you always acting like you're scared of me? I asked in a low tone, pushing past him into the kitchen. He didn't take out the trash or do the dishes again. He was about 3 years older than me and still acted like a child. I wasn't going to do his work for him, so I turned and made my way outside. I didn't bother to ask what he wanted, since he was probably some nonsense again. As my eyes reached the sunlight, I saw Charmy flying around the other side of the house. I ignored it. He was always doing something strange outside. I had no clue where I was going, but I started walking down the town. Sure, the people stared and backed away, but I really didn't care. I honestly didn't notice half of the time. They should have gotten used to my type of being around here by now. Silver's point of view. I thought I saw Espio going downtown, so I stopped to check it out. He didn't look very happy. In fact, his face bared an angry look. I didn't go to him. I just watched him from a distance. He really didn't do anything but walk around. I noticed people were shooting him strange looks so I finally flew down to talk to him. Hey, Espio. I started in a rather uncomfortable way. He hesitated before replying. Hi, Silver. I didn't know him well, so I really didn't know how to have a normal conversation. We walked in silence for a few minutes before I suddenly decided to talk. So, what are you doing in town? I don't know, he mumbled, keeping his eyes on the ground. I laughed awkwardly and stopped. That wasn't really funny. Why was I so awkward around him? I guess he felt like he was talking to a complete stranger. What was he thinking? I was so curious I apparently wanted to be awkward again. What is on your mind? I said out loud. Oh my God, no, I did not mean to say that out loud. He suddenly looked up for the first time when we walked under a cherry blossom tree. That's when I noticed how beautiful his eyes were. Espio's point of view. Why was he staring at me like that? His eyes were the same color as mine. They were a bright shade of gold and yellow. To break eye contact, I stared at the sakura petals falling off the tree above. They were truly the most beautiful flowers, white with a mixture of soft shade of pink and magenta. There was it was strange being around Silver. He was the first to come to me, and he was the first to talk. The first to look me straight in the eyes without looking away. Did that mean something? It was different. He was different from everyone else. He didn't seem frightened or bored. He didn't leave like anyone else would. He stayed. He didn't stop talking, in fact. I kind of liked hearing his voice. We eventually sat on the bench and talked a bit. Well, he did. I just listened. He somehow managed to make me smile. Silver's point of view. Why was I staring? I couldn't help it. His eyes bared the shimmer of sadness I'd felt in my heart. He broke eye contact by staring around at the romantic petals that fell around us. It was strange being around Espio. He didn't care that I was the first one to come to talk, to look him straight in the eyes. Did this all mean something? My heart, my Lord, my goodness. My sorrow had left for a while. He was different from everyone else. He didn't seem uncomfortable or annoyed. He didn't leave or walk away. He didn't stop listening to me. He was a great listener. We eventually sat on the bench and talked. Well, I did. He continued to listen. I somehow managed to see him smile. Espio's point of view. Later, I went back to the house. Vector and Charmy just stared at me in disbelief. What? I asked in a rude tone. I wasn't trying to sound that way. It just came out wrong. I guess they thought I wasn't coming back. Slamming the door, my feet brought me to the edge of the bed. I tucked my head under the covers. I had to admit I was in love with Silver. The only thing was I didn't want the past to repeat itself for a third time. I don't want to lose him like I lost them. Flashback, no one's point of view. I'm going to go on ahead and say this is completely made up by me. Espio would come back after every day crying and run to his room and hide under the sheets. He felt as if the world around him just isolated his mind to walls of darkness. The teasing remarks of the upperclassmen and every push or small kick of kids, every small thing placed under a set of chain links connecting to the invisible shackles on his wrists and ankles. Some part of him told him to die. His sister came into his room and comforted him, placing a warm hand on his shoulder. She'd hug him until he felt better. Most of the sadness would go away, but some always still lingered in the back of his mind. Oh my God, his sister mumbled, coming back into the room and shoving Espio in the closet. He tried to fight back in confusion. No! Espio, you need to stay in here until it's safe. Do not come out until I tell you. LOL, sounds like she's trying to hide that he's secretly gay. Oh my Lord. She shut the door and ran. Espio was left alone. He sank to the floor and curled up into a ball, his tail wrapped around his leg in fear. Quiet whimpers could barely be heard. Then everything was silent. He slowly rose and cracked the door open a little. He stepped out of the closet and peeked around the corner. What he saw was terrifying. He continued forward to see his family on the floor, his sister, his mother, and father, all three lying in large puddles of blood. He fell to his knees and covered his own mouth to block out the scream. His eyes flooded in tears as he reached forward. Didn't they have another kid? Didn't they have another kid? He heard someone whisper in the distance. He slowly crawled into the kitchen and quietly opened the drawer to pull out a large butcher knife. When he fell face to face with the murderers, something inside of him snapped. A sense of rage and fear boiled and caused him to dart forward. The knife plunged into the first man's chest. He repeatedly stabbed until the body stopped moving. The other man turned to the door to make his escape, suddenly realizing the danger. The fury inside Espio faded away as he dropped the knife and knelt over the killer's corpse. A loud bang outside startled him as his eyes shifted to the police outside. One stared at him in astonishment with the survivor standing behind him. Espio made a move and quickly shot into the back of the house, climbing out of the window. Silver's point of view. After the little incident with Espio, I couldn't get away from the fact that I liked him. I had to pull the thought aside for now, though. My top priority was find out more about who I was facing, Eggman. I recently heard that he was planning some sort of devious plan, but I didn't exactly hear what. I thought I could do this on my own, but I really wished Espio was here to help me. No, I can do this by myself. I don't need any help. I just need to plant some bugs into his HQ so I can spy a little, which wasn't my specialty. The clouds around The clouds outside his lair were dark. I can't read today. The clouds outside his lair were dark, and the air was so polluted I could barely breathe. Outside were patrols of robots and machines everywhere. How the heck was I supposed to get in there? They would detect me right away. I guess I'd have to take care of guess I'd have to take care of the ones with the security lights first to make this easier. I ducked behind a giant boulder shielding from the lights. Time to skip, because I don't want to write about him destroying robots. I snuck into the vent and reared on the rear of the giant building. It was sure crammed in there, but I had to make do with what I had. I suddenly saw a light in the distance, which was where the vent ended on the other side. The small slits of the vent door could only provide little vision into the room it led to. I wanted to hurry and get out, so I quickly planted a bug inside of the wall. It should pick up every sound in the main control room where Eggman stayed. Then again, if I picked every sound, the static might drown out the voices of the enemy. I turned the knob on the bug to lower the sensitivity. Espio's point of view. I lie in bed, staring at the ceiling. Next to me was a picture of Mighty and a couple of candles around it with a few rose petals in front. After the battle with Eggman a few years ago, I was never the same. Most people say that I'm mostly on an emotional roller coaster. I went from happy to sad to angry to depressed, back to happy, back to sad and depressed again. Everyone I'd ever loved left me. They would never come back. Silver was different. I felt that I had a connection with him, but I refused to love. If I do, I might lose him too. I need your help. I got a text from Silver. What is it? I planted a bug in Eggman's HQ, but something went wrong. What do you mean? I got most of the info I was looking for. Apparently he's not planning to create a virus inside of a bomb to make all life evil. So, what do you need my help for? No one else would listen to me. I need you to help me destroy it. What can I do? To you, I will be useless. No, you won't. Please. You're my only hope. Okay, where are you now? Eggman's junkyard. I'll be there soon. I got off the bed and slipped on my shoes. I opened the closet to pull out the katana. What? The katana you had been hiding. I think it's supposed to say I had been hiding, and placed it into the sheath on my back. Don't worry, Silver, I won't be completely useless to you.